into it. We got. Let's take my phone out so I can monitor, even though I don't even look at it half the time. But we'll get it out anyways. Let's monitor this bad boy. This bad boy. What am I talking about? Okay, live. I'm going to monitor live. Hey, one person. All right. Welcome in, user. I don't know if you're the same user I've seen before, but welcome in. Kirby, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. I know Kirby X Mars. I believe we chatted once. BradY, hello, Kirby. Hope you've been having a fantastic Friday. It's a Friday. Hopefully user too in the chat. And there's someone, I think you two are the only people. But yeah, hopefully you guys been having a fantastic Friday. It's been pretty nice. All right, let's get going.
Okay, BradY.
Hello, how's it
Now
going?
it's going good, bro. I love Fridays.
What was that?
I love Fridays.
Fridays, I know. I work tomorrow though, unfortunately. But that's okay. It's one more day and that's okay.
Yes. So basically, no, I usually I usually go on Christian Live. I told you this last time. I don't know if I forgot. I usually go on Christian Live. So I came up with this question today. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? So because I wrote it down in the Google Doc. So I'm here on my computer. So hear this question real quick. Let me. You know what I'm saying? If it makes sense. God
Right.
make things a certain way. You know what I'm saying? He created reality. For example, evil can exist without good, and good can't exist without evil. Why does God try to solve problems that he created and he fails?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I see that within the Old Testament very often. If this God was all knowing, like why would he like create such like the tree in the first place, the tree of good and evil, or like the tree of knowledge of good and evil? It's like, what are you doing? It's like putting like a baby by an outlet and not covering the outlets, or maybe a kid like a toddler, and you put metal forks by the outlet, saying, "Hey, do not stick that into the outlet, or you will surely feel something." And I don't know what the deal is. You will surely die, but they might die. But the funny thing is, in Genesis and in the creationist story, like the Adam and Eve, they don't die.
Mhm.
But anyways, yeah, it's something where I see very often where it's like, why is God intervening if He already knows everything that plays out?
I mean, it's not even that. He created it. Why are you trying to solve, like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, if someone does a bad thing, why are they trying to solve the problem? He created consequences. He created reality. Why are you trying to solve problems? You're the one who you literally created these problems. So why are you trying to solve it?
Unless there's a reason, let's try to think of something, right? So maybe like I can see the God not being like all knowing. Well, maybe they're all knowing potentially, but maybe they're not all good in a sense, or like maybe they're not all perfect either. Where like things had to be chaotic in a sense for this to turn out into what we're doing right now and talking to each other, and um, maybe that was just a part of like life being is it had to be chaotic. I don't know.
Mm. I mean,
But then
maybe,
people
maybe.
people would have to concede that the God's not all perfect and all good,
Yeah.
because like
No,
God does genocide. It's like, come on, like, or like commands people to kill the Amalekites, every man, woman, child, infant, donkey, ox, whatever else. It's like that would be traumatic. As like if God told me like, dude, just do this to your people over there. That's a different tribe. I'd be like, what? So this is another interesting thing. It's like I've heard that well, Vsauce Michael here says, what if the Bible is the book of consciousness?
what does that mean?
So like people would describe they heard a voice, but it might have been their own voice, and maybe just like how we like are just thinking and are aware of like hearing something in our head. Maybe
Mm.
might have been like surprising or shocking to people, maybe potentially. But it's like described. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but how he describes it, it's like how people talked back then was as if they were like talking to themselves in a sense. But that doesn't. I don't take that for what it is. There's more I need to dig into to really understand what he means by that. And I'm trying to read through the Bible too, or listen to it on a podcast. Um, so but it's interesting to think about if it's the book of consciousness, if like people were saying like God is their voice in their head, and their voice in their head in this tribe is telling us to kill people in this tribe, that can get problematic. It's like, which voice do you listen to in your head then? And that's, I would pose that question to anyone.
But then, you know, the Christian will obviously say, why would people have the same voice saying the same thing and making them, and then people believe in it, but they was also getting unalive for believing into that voice that people saying is not real and they don't believe in it either.
Hmm. So like multiple people hearing the same voice. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the whole thing.
Like, I guess like a Christian would say, like, why would multiple people would believe in the same voice and would have like, I guess like they would have like same experiences, but I guess you know the Bible had contradictions, so it's not exactly going to be the same, but they're going to always have that voice. Why would everybody have that voice if people is obviously going to disagree and unalive them? That would the person would be saying.
Right. Well, imagine if there's aliens, for instance, or a god,
Mhm,
whatever. We can put
mhm,
this, we can abstract this idea however we need to. That's tapping into our brains and actually doing that, right? But like there is like different forces in a sense. Like there is competing desires for like what is like the true voice and what is a different voice. And I can see things getting tangled up if people don't understand what the true voice is. And how do we even know what the true voice is? And I think that's why we externalize our thoughts and talk out loud, vulnerably, fearlessly, and test these ideas out in real time so we can understand like what logic does. Because I think logic follows these aliens, maybe, right? And
mhm,
we can come to an understanding together about what is in our minds and is it ours?
mhm. Because I was on another live with a Christian before I came to say live because I was asking him if I said to him if God didn't create, he said God didn't create like the problems in the Bible. And I said, where did the problems come from then? We can't create something that have never, like, we can't create something out of nothing. God can. I don't know how he does that, but God can. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
So,
Even when it goes back to that, there's some theories out there that the universe has always been and always existed, like it's infinite, and it there and potentially like there could have been nothing, but there's a potential that there's always been something too, and we just don't know, right?
yeah, there's no way to go like a trillion years back and look at that.
Right.
Maybe if we could,
No, go ahead. Sorry.
or you know, we was able to go like a billion years, but maybe to go like even farther from that, we're probably gonna need more extra technology. Maybe in 7022, we probably figure it out.
In 17. Wait, what?
7022.
Oh, 70-22. We'll figure it out. Yeah, definitely. That's that. Well, at that mark, we'll hit it. It's like people in the past, like when they created Back to the Future, like yeah, we're gonna have flying cars by 2016 or something like that, and it's like, well, not quite.
I
Man,
mean, I guess we kind of do have flying cars, but it's called airplanes.
right? But like, imagine like flying cars being a thing though. That'd be so hectic. You know, how would we even like regulate like how fast people can like fly, or like how they're flying around if they're flying recklessly? And it's just
Mhm,
like it adds an extra like direction of
mhm,
not just front and sideways, not X Y. It's X
mhm.
Y and Z. It's like
Not
what?
only that, but imagine going on a police chase and they're flying over the Atlantic Ocean.
A police chase. Nice, nice.
That would be an insane police chase. And imagine they just record. That would just be a whole funny watch right there. I'm not gonna lie. Just a flying car and a police chase.
A flying car in a police chase. That'd be funny. But yeah, that's well, how do we even get to this? We were talking about shit. What the frick were we talking about? Well, God, of course. I'm trying to get back to where we were getting to. Do you remember? I kind of forgot.
I kind of forgot. Hold on.
That's okay. That's okay. How have you been for the most part? Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine.
Awesome. Awesome. Nice. Nice. It's good to hear. Let me
I
get
just
some
need to,
agua.
I just need to hit the gym more.
Hit the gym more. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. I used to be addicted to that. I'm gonna get smarter.
Me too. I used to be very addicted during high school because
Yeah.
it was during like because most of the times in high school I usually fail like two classes. You know, I'm saying math. I'm not good at math, and I usually fail that. It was during June. I think junior year was my best year in physique because I was hitting the gym mostly every day during the summer. That was like my
Yeah.
best gym time. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I used to play football. Believe it or not. Womp.
Sleeper Bill.
and uh, and I wrestled. I did wrestling to stay in condition for football, and football was like everything. Like it was fantastic. It like kept me alive, really, just like having something to like work towards and be within a brotherhood of people, and that was really great. Just playing on the team. But yeah, I was like addicted to it to the point where after football ended, like I didn't know what to do. Like I was like in the gym like 2 times a day, like going over exerting myself to the point where like I couldn't even stand up. Um, After that, because I think I wasn't eating enough too. Like nutrition was not the best, and like I remember just like going for it and like pushing myself and like laying in the locker room and missing class because I'm like, what am I like? I can't stop doing this for some reason, and it became kind of bad, and so I kind of laid off of going so hard in the gym after that. But I kind of miss it, right? Because like it was a
Mhm.
good addiction. It was like a good habit to have, right? And I haven't worked out pretty much for the last like year at least. I used to do like body weight YouTube videos. There was a gym at my apartment that I went to for a couple weeks, and I just stopped. It's just like when I don't know. I can't get back into it, but I could if I wanted to. But I just don't, and I could I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. If I had a gym at my apartment, I'm not gonna lie. I'll be tempted to go. I'm not gonna lie. If I had a gym at my apartment,
Right, right.
but I had to like take the train and walk.
Yeah. Okay. Do you live in a city that has pretty good transportation?
I mean, yeah, yeah. I'm in New York, so
Oh, dude, nice. New York City or
I mean, I'm in there, but I'm in Brooklyn. I'm in Brooklyn.
oh, okay, cool, man. How's it like over there?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's just that I hate how sometimes like the roads, how the sidewalk looks, like the sidewalks. Like I see them trying to fix it. Like I see what like the mayor is trying to do. He's trying to come in, but it's still like I remember like taking my brother to summer school, and then they was fixing the sidewalk. So we used to take the bus, but then we had to walk on the road around it since that sidewalk was closed to go
Right.
to our house. But when it was fixed, I'm like, what did they even do? It still looks horrible. Yuck.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think there's a couple people in the multi guest. We can bring more people up. Um,
It's, uh,
Holy moly. Okay, so many people. Sorry. This guy. I'm gonna invite this person up to see what they're saying. I see you, last broadcaster. I see you, and Lord Resin, and the other person. We'll see if we have time to get everyone up here. But I typically keep it with one person just to get more personal with them. Um, I'm curious to hear what Lucas. Hey, Lucas. Lucas. Hello. You got out of the app. I can't hear you if you're out of the app. Um, hello.
Oh shoot,
Hello. How's it going?
I'm good.
How old are you?
I'm 18. My voice is just it's really messed up.
What's your birth year?
I have thyroid issues.
What's your birth year?
My birth
Uh-oh.
year,
Yeah.
it's 2008.
Okay, I trust you. Okay, I just wanted to bring it up because you said you need someone to talk to. What's going on, man?
So yeah, I'm talking with this girl, but like her friends keep on messing with me. I like, what should I do?
Your friends keep messing with you. Like, in what ways, if you don't mind sharing?
No, like her friends, like
Oh, her
so like
friends.
her friends like send me death threats and shit.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, why? What? Okay, this is interesting. Like out of nowhere, or like, is there a reason for this?
I think it's just because like she's not over her ex, but like she's also still trying to talk to me. It's really weird.
She's not over at her ex, and she's still trying to talk to you, but her friends are doing this. That's kind of strange. This doesn't sound like
Yeah,
18-year old. This doesn't sound like 18-year
I
old
think she's
behavior. Is she 18? Okay,
He's a
maybe.
little
no, she's
kid.
5.
Oh my gosh, you
He's a
guys.
little kid. He's a little
Okay.
kid. Wait, BradY, how you didn't catch up when he said 2008?
Isn't that? Wait, I'm really bad at math. 2008 is. Can you help me out with math? 8,
Okay,
7, 6,
so
5, 4, 3,
basically,
2, 1, 0, 9, 8, 10 years. So that's 18. I'm 28.
because right, 2006, right? I'm supposed to be 20 this year since I'm in
He
2006.
said they said 2008, didn't they?
So that's minus that's minus 20. So 4 minus 20.
Wait, 8, 18. Wait, am I doing the math wrong here? 2008.
Wait, that's
is
wait, hold on.
7654321 098, and I was born in 98, and that's 10 years, and that's I'm 28, and minus 10 years is 18. So they did the math right, right? Am I
Wait,
just tripping?
18? No, no, huh?
From
18?
2008? Yes. Okay, I'm
No,
gonna Google
that's
this shit now.
what? I don't know.
What year and how old are you? How how old if born? God, why am I doing this? In 2008, 17 or 18 years old. Come on,
Huh?
I can't be
What?
tripping.
What? Wait, hold on. I gotta check this out. You know what?
Okay,
You know what? You said 2008, right? Money. What? Wait, I'm tripping. I must be tripping. How was 2008 18?
okay, we're gonna bring these two people up because I think Lord Resin, you're in the live yesterday, and we're gonna see what's going on here.
Oh,
Hello. How's it going?
good.
Good to hear from you
Kinda.
again. Kinda. What's going on?
I literally just had an anxiety attack.
Oh shoot, I'm so sorry to hear that. How are
Oh,
you
okay.
feeling? How are you feeling now? Like, are you like? Do you feel anything like a ping of like emotion, or like how are you feeling?
Just I don't know, man. My like consciousness like talks me through it. And then afterwards I feel like I'm back in my body or whatever, but oh god, I don't like them. They just come out of nowhere, bro.
Do you feel like you dissociate sometimes? Is that what that feeling feels like?
I don't know what that means. Can
It's
you
like so like
explain
an
that?
out of body experience. Like you don't feel like you're in your own like body at sometimes. Hey, thank you for
Oh
that.
no,
Thank you
no.
so
It's
much.
like um I feel like my body is being like occupied by someone that's not me.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Do you feel like you're in control in those situations, or like are you just like the observer and like witnessing like something happening, or like what do you feel like in those situations?
I feel like as if like if we were in Assassin's Creed and someone got inside of that bed thing instead of my body.
Oh damn.
Just
Okay.
went in really quick and went out.
Yeah. Well, you're more than happy to like stay on live, of course. And I'm sorry you're feeling that way. I don't know why I said
You know, it's
more
all
than
over
stay
now.
on
I mean, I'm pretty
live. What
solid.
am I saying? What am I saying? Sorry. I'm just talking to myself because why not? Um, Lord Resin, hello.
How are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing dandy. I appreciate you.
You were in the live yesterday, I believe, right?
Yeah,
I
yep.
saw you. Yeah, so I don't typically bring up more than three people sometimes, but like you guys all seem familiar, and it's good to get a group going. And I'm curious, like what you guys want to talk about as a group, or if anything's going on in anyone's mind, we can start there and go from there.
Well, what's been on my mind when I joined yesterday was I noticed how similar everybody was in this group. Like when everybody comes on this live, when they're talking, it's usually about the similar experiences, um, and similar perspectives. Like you in the
The last
last
broadcaster,
broadcaster,
yep.
you guys had similar beliefs and whatnot. They might have had slight differences, but the majority of it was very similar.
Yeah, yeah. Like what part resonated with you the most that you listened to last night?
It's a little hazy, only because my memory is like really bad. But that's all I really remember is that it
That's
was
okay.
very similar.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about sort of like, well, consciousness in a sense, like how that appears and the voice in our heads and God and aliens and, well, the simulation theory and also kind of like harmony, what that means. We're kind of all over the place, and it was a really interesting
I think
conversation.
I think our consciousness are alien species.
Our minds,
Our consciousness.
our consciousness is an alien species. Uh, I can get on board with that in a sense where like they're tapping into our brains in a sense for us to become aliens too. I don't know.
It's the perfect
we're becoming
alias.
them. We're becoming them. I don't know.
It's the perfect alias. Like I was saying yesterday, like if I was an alien species and I wanted to observe a sentient life force on a planet, I would want to be able to be like kind of not detectable, but at the same time be something that's abstract. So thoughts are something I would know that sentient beings can't prove. You can't prove God exists. You can't prove that consciousness exists. You can't prove why anesthesia works. You can't prove any of that. So that's, to me, that's a perfect alias. Also, you can jump in and out of each person's head, and not only human heads, animals and marine life and insect life and stuff like that.
Mm. It's almost interesting too. It's not really much to do with what you're saying, but like we can like some people can visualize in their heads like images. Where does that come from? Like how do we even like see in our mind, if that makes any sense? Like these
That's what I'm
images.
saying. That's It has to be these aliens, because there's no way that you can hear an audible sound inside of your head without no source. Where does that come from? So that's what I'm saying. An alien can put in your mind a certain type of song that you assume that's a synchronicity or a sign from God to lead you to the path they want you to live in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, there's no other explanation. Like, how did primitive people know that certain types of produce and fruits and vegetables produce seeds, and in that to plant them and how to plant them? You had to have an outside source telling you what to do.
Well, not necessarily how
I
to.
actually
Yeah, go ahead, Lord.
I actually seen an idea of that where they were explaining they were like saying had the same question that she said, where she was like, how would they know that these things have seeds in them and that they grow without an outside source? And the answer that I seen was someone observed like a fruit falling down and going into the ground and laying on the ground, and a few days or a few weeks later a plant sprouts from it, and then a year later it turns into a tree, and the person in their head was like, oh, okay, like maybe that thing was doing that, let me try and put that under the ground myself and see what happens.
Right. There can be so many explanations for how something like that's a perfect example. Because like visually seen, I think is really important, right? So I think things aren't always like just told to us like by an outside source. I think, but I think we can understand in both ways, like what both of you are saying, like how something occurs. But I think it's more plausible that we saw something, or like we were able to figure it out by observing.
But my question is like, even the foundation of all of this, the fact that we can inquire about something and have plausibility and understand how things operate inside of a system, that's beyond, like, why aren't we questioning that? Like, the fact that we can understand things in the first place is beyond me. The fact that you can go through context clues, environmental clues, deduce from different types of processes that the fruit falling from something isn't just some other plant that's growing in the forest. This is from the strawberry that fell 3 weeks ago. And pulling it out of the ground too early might kill the plant. All that string of thought, you're led to believe, just comes out of nowhere, from neuroplasticity, from adolescent age to adult age. You just think these things. How do people come up with electricity or the equation for gravity? You mean to tell me at the same time as Sir Isaac Newton, when motherfuckers couldn't read, this guy is coming up with the theory of gravity? Gravity. To today, we can use it now.
Right.
Like, come on. Think of that shit. Think of it.
I
I
mean,
actually have an idea on that. But I want to hear this Snowhat guy.
I mean, aren't we just? I don't know if this is true, but aren't we using just random words to just explain like how things are categorized? Like he didn't really found out gravity and like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like how we isn't basically like how Newton explained it. It's just like how we're just basically like labeling it. We're just giving it a label. It's not actually how it
Right.
is. It's just how we're like trying to like explain it. basically.
Exactly. Like, yeah, you're right on the point of where I'm trying to go. Like, you explained it perfectly. Like, just because we say random things and we have come up with the language doesn't mean that's what actually gravity is. It's a
If
force that we deduced to be something. Only our language and our simple understanding can convey. What is it actually?
I want to go off of what you both said, and I like what Curb said because there is evidence of the correlation between what you both are saying. How she's saying, "Oh, how are you able to come up with these ideas?" And he's saying, "Well, we're just making them up with, and they're just words." If you go back to the origin of the color blue, it kind of reveals how powerful language is for the mind. So over time, developing language allowed us to perceive the world in a lot more vast and expansive way. And the color blue is a perfect example of this, where they didn't have a name for the color blue. And because they didn't have a name for it, it just looked like another hue of purple. And it wasn't until they gave blue a name that now it looks distinguishably different than the color purple. And we can go to tribes in Africa where they have a name for every different shade of every different color. And to them, those shades look drastically different than a color that's just one shade higher. But to us, we're like, it's the same color. But to them, because they attached a name to it, they're able to perceive a different world than we are. So to us, the world is a lot more bland compared to them because all the colors to us kind of just blend together.
That's interesting. Get some agua.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to say was based on the last question when you said why don't everybody like try to ask questions about many things. Me personally, why I think why everybody don't want to like ask questions because I think it leads to many like it leads to a problem of we can't really answer this, and then people's gonna try to research it, and then they're gonna go crazy because they can't find like a solution to the answer. Some people might come with solutions, and I'm saying other people might disagree with that solution. They're just going into, and then there's gonna be like problems, you know what I'm saying? Because then people's gonna be like, "Holy crap, we're gonna you know what I'm saying, they're gonna ask so many questions that they might just you know what I'm saying. There's even devialization where you don't think anything is real, anything matters. You're just gonna ask so many questions to the point where you don't even think you're real. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think we can like ground, like I think questioning everything in a sense is interesting. I think sometimes we have to unlearn what we've already been taught, and I think that's why it's important to be agnostic to everything in a sense, to learn it and put it into your foundation for what it means to you, and like figuring out why it is important to put into your foundation. I think if we remain open-minded, curious, and understanding, and put that in our foundation, like we can thrive with questioning however we need to, right? And we can practice talking with each other. Like if we find something out about what we discovered, we can share it and we can talk about it with different people, right? Like this is why I go on TikTok, because like there's not really a lot of people I know in real life that like think like me, right? And I'm trying to find someone just like that thinks similar, and a lot of people do. And I think we're all different and unique and beautiful in our own ways, but like I think we're a lot more alike than we realize sometimes.
I just always want to know what people's how they see what purpose means to them.
Yeah, like go around the room.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Lord, Resin, or Kirby, I'll let you guys go first.
Perfect.
Mindful, I had to open the door for my brother.
You're okay.
I didn't hear what was said before.
So like, what does purpose mean to you, right?
Um, Purpose. To me, I feel like it's like the one defining factor for people. I've seen people who don't have purpose, and I see people who did have purpose, and they treat reality completely differently. People
Okay.
who don't have purpose are kind of aimless. They kind of just flow around the world. And I feel like people who have purpose, they kind of have like it seems like they have like tunnel vision almost, where they just see this one thing they're aiming for, and you can actually see them going towards that goal. Yeah.
So like if you could say like what would your purpose be if you could pinpoint to something.
My purpose, that's hard. I would just, I feel like I got to make the world a better place in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that. What about you,
Um,
Kirby?
mine. So it's. I think this kind of resonated. So I read this manga. It's called Blue Lock. It's more about soccer, but it's like very cool. It's like psychological and it's like warfare mostly. So basically, he's talking about ego, but it sounds kind of like purpose. But I'm gonna read it though. It says, "What do you mourn? What do you believe in? These choices are how you play the game of your life. Is purpose. It's the compass for what sort of life you live and the evaluation standard for all these decisions." So I think to me, purpose is basically, I guess, to be honest, I feel like there is no purpose, but purpose for me, I guess, is like the way you live,
Mm,
basically.
mm.
Even without purpose, that is purpose. You know what I'm saying? For other people, even if you don't have any purpose or have purpose, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Like, I think, in a sense, like we're all kind of contributing to whatever this is in a way. And if we don't always are conscious to it, like we are contributing. Like if we're a cashier at a store, like you're helping people out. And I think for me, that's where like purpose comes from is being helpful and progressing. And my ethos is like fearlessly be for others and myself. And I'm learning day by day like what that means and it's been such a journey from last year to where I am today. But I think a core root of it is just helping people. What about you, the last broadcaster?
I would say my purpose is to be better than I once was.
Mm,
I mean, I'm the only one living in my internal universe in my mind, and I know what I need to do to have a better life that aligns with my morality.
right,
So
right.
becoming better than I once was is ultimately better for the greater good.
Like like greater good meaning like what would that be?
You what?
Like what would the greater good be? Like for yourself or other people or like what would that be?
Myself. If I love
Yeah.
myself, it's easier to love others.
Yeah, definitely. I see where you're coming from with that. I like that. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, it's always good like keep that in mind too, like why we're doing what we're doing in a sense. Because sometimes even for me, like I lose track. But like I get back. I've been getting back on it quicker over the past like months or so. Just like reflecting. I think it's important to reflect and understand like who we are as people. And like how we interact with others in the world, and then take that back in. Like with you, the last broadcast, I was reflecting a lot on our conversation last night, and it was really interesting just to like because I always try to be better as well. Like I think there were some things I said that I could have done better, but like I can't be too hard on myself, right? It's like it's a process, and what was said needed to be said, and I'll do better next time, right? And it's one of those things.
Yeah, exactly. Like I really like that I have introspection.
Hmm. I think it's much needed, right? Um, like we all do it to a certain extent, right? I think some of us more than others, but I think um, I think how do we like model that out for other people, or like how do we demonstrate how to like begin trying to practice that, right? But I think it starts with like having conversations like this, right? And just being open with our thoughts and being vulnerable with them. I think is one step towards you know showing and helping people understand what that might be for themselves.
Now I'm
To
thinking about
to
it. My fault, the last. Now I'm thinking about what you said the last. You're actually right. Now I'm thinking about it. How the heck did Newton actually came up with that? Like he randomly like hold on.
I
This is actually
know,
making my
man.
brain actually. How the heck did he come up with those words?
It's not
Nah,
only
you
that, bro, man. Like his equation. isn't like 70% correct. It's not 66.74%. It's so accurate that astronauts use it today. Now, if you put that in your, go back further, right? You go back way further to Galileo. How did these people come up with the idea to make a telescope? I mean, I get it. I get it. Okay, you see something, you get inspiration from it. But if you go watch, I watch how it's made all the time, and the intricate details that you had to know to have the lens and glass to a certain curvature and magnitude, so the heat of something doesn't burn the glass. And I mean, it's just it's a whole process. Like how do they do it?
It's amazing. I mean, we can look at technology right now. It's like, how does like all this intricacy work within my monitor right now? Like pixels, of course, and there's a red, blue, and green, and there's like something going on with colors making it appear that I'm peachy. I was trying to label my skin color, but white. It's kind of red right now, but or pink. But like how do we able to even figure that out? But I think it's just with a lot of like figuring things out like by observing again and seeing how that works. I mean, we can probably there's probably a story about like people have come up with pixels and why they work, right? I don't think it just came out of thin air, but like maybe it did because like
Yeah, but
what if there's
how?
like thoughts? I was gonna say like
My
what if
question
there's
is how do you?
sorry. Sorry,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I was like, what if there's just like a lingering like amount of like infinite amount of ideas lingering and up in the sky, and the more we like question in the right direction, like we get to these thoughts that haven't been thought of before, and that's where original ideas come from. It's like how many original ideas are there, and maybe an infinite amount, right? But like I think the more we like ask the right questions and talk like this, we can figure something out together, right?
But it's something more than that. Like you had to think that what we read is in history books, it's in literature, it's on a page. When you are in your own body and you come up with an idea, the idea literally comes from absolutely nowhere. You'll be staring off at something, you'll have a thought, you're like, oh my gosh, how can this work better? Or you come up with something what you assume is totally new. Like, for example, I was moving a TV in my backyard and it sliced my foot open so deep I had to get 5 stitches.
Oh damn.
Now, my consciousness took over, not the nervous last broadcaster, not me, not Latasha. The anxiety person was gone. This voice clicked in my head like a PA system. It said, you need to go inside and you need to get a towel. Don't worry about the towel being dirty. When you go to the ER, they're going to give you a shot to compensate for bacteria that might grow in there. I'm panicking. I'm hyperventilating. The voice comes in again. You need to calm down. You need to slow down your breath. You need to breathe in and out. And it counted down with me. And I said, okay, remove the towel and let's see if pressure has stopped the bleeding. Where does that come from? That instructional thing when I'm having the worst moment of my life.
Right.
And scientists will be like, well, it's an intuitive sense. Yes, it is, like the Kirby said, but that doesn't explain what it is. We have an idea, we come up with a translation that becomes objective truth. Yeah, but what is it actually? Where did that string of instructional consciousness come from? I know that person talking in my head wasn't me.
Yeah, that's interesting, and when we can like make it out into something where it's not us, it's like for me, I kind of like make it a different character in a sense, but it's like it's still me, but like in the future, or like maybe it's God, or maybe it's alien, or maybe it's my best friend, and whoever it might be in my head, and talking to them, I get to a different conclusion that wasn't before. Like maybe I'll talk to my friend, but like since I'm giving them advice, I take my own advice, like I invert it on myself, like, oh yeah, this is I need to remember this for myself, or maybe there'll be like the positive like voice in my head that I need that at that moment, and helps regulate my emotions or gets me thinking about something different. So I think it's interesting when we can say like the voice in our head may not be ours, but it could be like fragments of so many different kinds of characters if we want to be that, if we want to go that chaotic or delusional. But we can I think the individual, whatever they label it as, is whatever it needs to be for them, right? and we can, and we're having good conversations about what that might be, but like scientifically we can't really prove that right now, which is interesting.
The crazy thing is, I just want to ask you guys a question. Y'all could all like imagine like different images. Y'all could talk in your head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What degrees do you guys have it to, though?
Degrees?
I don't have no degrees.
Yeah, because some people can only see like some colors, like the color is faded, or the
Oh,
object is faded, or it's only 2D.
I can see entire 3D modeling. Like I can see things in my mind as if they're movies.
Yeah, I'm the same way. That's dope.
Mine's not like I can imagine like maybe my friend's eyes, and I can see them, or her smile, and I can imagine like the pictures that she sent, or and or if I think about a tree like wrestling in the breeze. Like it's not like I can't really see it, but I can see it, if that makes any sense. It's so strange.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did you know the crazy thing is, like, I don't know if this is true, but I guess some people like, I forgot you call it, where you ask like different people like a question and they just like answer the question, but like some people do not have what we have, like being able to imagine like different things in their head. They don't even have like they're not even able to like talk into their head. Like how do you operate if you don't have that? Like
Yeah, I've seen stuff like that. It is pretty crazy.
I think they're non-playable characters.
Yeah, I don't know, cause like sometimes something. I not to get too personal, but I can get personal. Can I, BradY? Probably. So something that I always was curious with was something that happened to me was how do people act in ways and become violent when they weren't like they didn't intend to be violent? Like what takes over them in that sense, and what makes a person think to do that in the first place to someone they love, and um,
Hmm.
whose voice are they listening to at that point? And this is why I say whose voice, and um, yeah, it's just like are they even listening to a voice at all, or it's one of those things that I'm
I
still trying to figure out.
I think for me, like the thing that pisses me off the most is a coward. To me, a coward isn't some stupid motherfucker that's not willing to fight a bear. A coward is someone like that bitch in Gladiator when he was fighting Maximus Denarius and he is lying to people. He's not willing to fight. Or that Persian fighter that was about to face the Spartans in 300. That dude's sitting on his horse. He's saying to the Spartans, lay down your weapons. He's not even charging towards them. He's not even convinced himself. That's a coward. In addition to someone that's willing to fight for absolutely fucking nothing. That makes me violent. When I'm sitting by someone and they call a homeless person a bum and they're running their mouth and they don't feel what does this person might feel? What is what you're saying might affect them? Makes me want to backhand them across their face.
If I may,
Yeah,
I want to go off of what you said, BradY, earlier, where you said, "What is it that makes them do the violent acts?" That's something that I spent so much time trying to figure out. Like, I swear, I've had so many conversations with like thousands of people about this because I was so intrigued by it.
mm-hmm.
And the conclusion I came up with, and people usually get upset when they hear me say this, but I say it's just because they're broken. And they're like, no, they know what they're doing. They know that they're doing this and blah blah blah. It's like
Right.
maybe a certain percentage of them do, but I think the majority of them just went through trauma, abuse, and we assume that human beings are perfect, that they can stay with the same mindset and the same perspective their entire life, no matter what happens to them. But in reality, if you're a child and you're being traumatized and abused, your brain can get broken and you
Yes.
now see reality differently, maybe in a more violent way because that's what you're being taught. So I try to have so much like sympathy or empathy towards them, and I try to find alternative ways of trying to help them. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
nowadays we just want to throw them in jail and it's like, oh, don't even worry about them.
Yes. You know it, man. You know it. And this is where it goes back to, I think, because like we're all a product of our biology, like or like with biology in our environment, right? And I believe everyone, I think it's universal at this point. Like everyone has been hurt by another person. I don't think there is like a person that hasn't been hurt by another person. But I think because of that, like people can turn out to be in whatever ways like their environment shaped them to be, and and who they are now as adults, right, is one of those things. And this is why I think we should really, really take some time to understand our brains and like fearlessly dive into it to really understand how we operate to the point where we can behave in such ways and like practice, like we can internally think about, okay, why am I so fucking broken? So this is like me talking to myself when I was like messed up. Well, not messed up, but just depressed and anxious and socially anxious and just negative. And I'm like, what is going on in my mind? Like I'm such a like I'm no good, and all these negative thoughts are going on in my mind. But I think it's like getting to that point where like we talk kinder to ourselves and externalize these thoughts and get to the point where like we can figure out like the past so we don't repeat what we know is a bad pattern, if that makes any sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And I had this idea, and I'm not sure how correct it is, but I like to ask people and tell them about it to see their perspective on it. But you know how like random geniuses pop up, and they could be good at math, they could be good at engineering, they could be good at cosmology, whatever it might be. But it's usually like a specific niche that they're really intelligent at, and they can just see things that other people can't. I think if we look at the world and we look at what's going on and we see all the bad stuff happening and we see the little bit of good stuff sprinkled in, it seems like genius evil people kind of took over. And it makes you sit there and think, okay, why haven't we seen any genius good people that can see a way to unite people and to help people, et cetera, or give them a good path to show them a better way? What I seen was it seems like prophets and philosophers and like really those intelligent people, they kind of are those geniuses. And it's why when people read, let's say, the Bible or the Quran, they feel so strongly about it when they see these prophets talking about what they talk about. And I think it's because those prophets understood human nature. They
Mm.
understood what was wrong. They seen what was going on in the world and like, hey, look at this better way of going about life. This will make you feel a lot better. You'll be more fulfilled. You'll feel more loving, compassionate, understanding to those around you. But because we have people in charge who want submission, subjugation, they decide to manipulate those in some way, shape, or form using the media, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm. Yeah. Like who would you say is a genius that's evil today, if there is a person you can pinpoint down,
Um,
or the
I
idea of that
can't.
person?
I can't think of anyone who is a genius nowadays. I feel like most of them already existed.
Yeah, and like that's what ended up creating the system we're in, or like, or what do you think?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's kind of what the secret societies and stuff are. They're just kind of going over a blueprint that somebody else gave them.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Like when people like say they were creating capitalism, like they didn't, or they probably didn't know what it was going to go into. Like, but this is probably a better example. Like when people create social media, they didn't understand exactly the negative impacts that would happen to people, right? And now we're just kind of dealt with like whatever it's doing to people, especially people who compare themselves to others a lot, or like, maybe my life's not as good as other people's lives, and whatever comparison they're making, right? And there's other negative stuff too that happens. But it's one of those things where I don't know I'm getting at. Like we ought to be careful about like creating new technologies. But why am I going here, BradY? Sorry, I'm just like drawing a blank out all of a sudden. I'm sorry. I don't know if that
Now you okay?
I don't know if that tied into what you said at all. What is my brain doing?
Like
It's
I
wild.
think what Lord Resin was saying about the good genius versus the evil genius,
That's right.
and what sets them apart is kind of correlating with what you're trying to get at. Is to me the reason why capitalism exists, suffering exists, is because the good genius doesn't stand up for as a collective, not just one person here and there, to hold the evil genius accountable, because people assume that when you are good, you can't make people uncomfortable. You should be making people uncomfortable if you are moral. You should hold.
Hmm.
You should, like, for example, Elon Musk. I don't like him. There's no way this man can build a rocket that's can ascend out of the exosphere and come way back down and be recycled and not create a fucking car that's aerodynamic. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Talking the way I just spoke is the way all the collective needs to speak to this man so he understands that he is not that great as he thinks that he is. Yes, he might have power with money. Yes, he might have power over institutions. But when the good guy starts evolving to have a bigger backbone, that's when things are going to change. When you tell your boss for the fourth time, I'm not throwing those donuts away, I'm going to go give them to a homeless shelter. And then you take a picture of your boss and then you upload it and then you start a live video
Hmm.
and you say, hello, everybody on the live. This is my boss, Carl. He doesn't want to donate the donuts to the homeless shelter. What do you think about it, Carl? That's how you hold people accountable. The good
Yeah.
guy needs to start having a bigger backbone,
I like that
to me.
actually. I like that. Yeah, like like guiding people or like like doing things in such a way for them to understand it in a way that's not like condescending. Maybe it is, but it depends on the person. But I think it's one of those things where is it Plato's idea or Aristotle, one of those or someone a philosopher. I was gonna say philosopher, philosopher, had the idea of like the 2D like the cave. There are people in a cave and there's like 2D shadows on the wall, and one of the cavemen or whatever walked out into the world and like saw there's like 3 dimensions and like they're like I think it's up to like the person that like gets to like the 3 dimensions or whatever to like educate the people who are like stuck to the wall looking at their shadows, right? So that they can actually come out and be with us all, right? In a sense. So it's like up to it's like up to the teacher. It's up to a person
Right.
if they have more knowledge to teach that to a collective of people, so we can come and rise up together. Rise up. Sorry.
Like,
If
I
I
think,
could,
Sorry, I had.
if I could, I agree with that 100%. And I feel like one of the main problems why like good people can't seem to move forward and unite, they don't think in terms of being aggressive. Because being a good person, you're thinking, okay, you know what I'm saying, be calm, be patient with people, compassionate, understanding. But in order to win against a more aggressive foe, you kind of have to be aggressive as well. And they have a hard time doing that. They have a hard time pushing their beliefs in other people's face, even if it's a good belief system.
Yeah, of course. I think it has to take a crazy person to be kind of both.
100%,
Um,
yeah.
Lord, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to
Okay.
disagree with the being aggressive part, to be
Okay. Yeah.
honest.
What would you say about that?
Because you're saying that to face another person being aggressive, you're gonna have to be. That's because the reason I agree with that because when I'm playing sports, you know what I'm saying, I play basketball and soccer. When someone is being aggressive to me, you know what I'm saying, to be honest, I don't really be aggressive back. You know what I'm saying? So we don't get into like commotion, you know what I'm saying? So the game doesn't stop. So I feel like I'm gonna have to disagree with the being aggressive, going like
Yeah.
aggressive to aggressive. You know what I'm saying.
I see
Well,
what
if
you
I
I'm
can
mean.
gonna,
pinpoint what I mean real quick by aggressive, I
Mhm.
mean more in the sense of like let's use the example where you said sports. Not so much when you're on the field. I mean when in the background when you're training. You should be very aggressive with how much you're trying to improve rather than being passive and only training for let's say 2 hours. But instead you're being more aggressive with your training and you're training for 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day, etc.
I mean, yeah, but then there's a downside. You might get hurt training too aggressively.
I'm gonna have to push back on both of you guys. Um, Lord, one for like not standing in your own conviction of what you said, and for Kirby, I kind of like. Well, Brad, he knows the host knows this. Like, I'm autistic, so I think in stories. So when, like, who do I? When Anakin Skywalker was confronting Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? And he's like, "You can't tell me who to love. Fuck you. Go to hell." All this other stuff. They're both in their right convictions. The problem is that Obi-Wan is looking at outsource the greater good. Everybody's affected. Anakin's only thinking about his pain. You have to be aggressive, Kirby, like Lord said, to put that dude in his place, like Obi-Wan put Anakin in his place. No, 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 sweetheart. You're not going to come here and be a Jedi and kill the younglings and come to me and run your mouth and all this other stuff, and you're not listening to what I'm saying. All you can hear, all you can see is malevolence. All you can see is the world burning. You need to put them in their place by being aggressive. That's the problem now. People are like, well, no, I need a little bit more understanding, giving them the benefit of the doubt. If someone is going to have bombs come in on a hospital full of multitudes of people, children, old people, all that stuff to prove a point, you best believe I'm coming in there aggressive as hell. Because if time passes and understanding, all those people learn over and over and over again is that I can do whatever I want to these people and they'll forgive me. I'm
I want to
not.
say
I'm not
thank you
tolerant.
for pointing. I wanted to say thank you for pointing out that I wasn't standing on my conviction.
Yeah, because you're right. Like the knight, I'm pretty sure I'm not assuming your name's Lord because you like knights. And like a knight is someone that, listen, is unequivocally impermeable. You're not telling a knight what to do. You have orders from the king. The king says to do this, then I'm going to do it. And then noble knight is someone that goes past the king's orders and say, I don't like what my king says. I'm fighting for my people. And you best believe the knight's going to get their stuff done. I'm not going to stand here unless you run your mouth and take extra taxes for the people, like the guy from Braveheart or Robin Hood. All these people that humans project themselves out of, like the Punisher and Ghost Rider and Deadpool, the oddball, the anti-hero, Batman. Those are the real heroes to make everybody in the room uncomfortable. The politicians, the senator, Joker, the bad guys, and the good guys. That's how you know you're on the right path, because who else can hold the people accountable than the righteous?
I mean,
What argument do they have? I'm
I'm
doing
about to
this for the
disagree.
greater
I'm about to
good.
disagree with Batman because every time he catches Joker, he literally lets him go. Like Batman, he literally it's like a love hate relationship with the Joker
But
with
that's that
Batman.
Batman, not me. I would
But
kill Joker.
I will say it's not that he let him go. It's that the institutions that he put him in wasn't able to keep him for whatever reason it was. He wanted to make sure that he was put away permanently. But anytime he did go in there, somebody else got him out. You can say, "Oh, well, you should have just killed the guy," but it's like, I mean, isn't that their job? The people who are supposed to put him in the thing.
I mean, yeah, but have you seen what Batman be doing with the combos? Holy! I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure he's killing somebody with those combos.
yeah, he's
Pretty
giving them
sure.
concussions. I don't even know how Joker's still standing.
Right, right.
Real.
That's that's
The
fucking
Batman
hilarious.
was like, if you keep talking like that, he's like, I forgot what he said. He's like, if you continue to talk like this, if you want to eat solid food, what does that mean, bro? What are you gonna do to me, dude? How's that coming in your mind as we're You better answer. I'm gonna crush your fucking throat. Eat through a colostomy bag.
When it comes to being aggressive and not aggressive, I think it's contextual by each situation, because I think something could be too complex in a sense, or even too, well, it depends. I don't know about that last statement I made, but I think it depends on the person, right? Um, like I had this. Am I gonna share this? Should I share this? So I'm bipolar, and I had my last manic episode last year, and I was going to create a video, um, where I get orange paint and I put it on my face, and I sing "I Me Mine" by the Beatles, and halfway through I put a Charlie's Chaplin mustache on my mustache, and I start singing in broken English and singing the song, and then I end up convulsing and like being like or like acting like I'm possessed on my bed, and then at the end of the song I'll come out and say, I'm not on the list. I'm not on the Epstein files. And this is a really stupid idea that I know it's really stupid, but imagine if we like made it a trend in such a way where like it was hard not to like see it if you're the president of the United States, to the point where we just like kind of like troll him, and it gets him to the point where he's just like, this sucks. Life sucks.
That's the aggressiveness. Aggressiveness is not necessarily physical violence. It's your pursuit and your fervent need to pursue your purpose, to hold people accountable for what they do. Aggressiveness has sometimes not, like you said, nothing to do with physical things. When you corner a person and you ask them blatantly, why aren't you donating your donuts to the homeless? And remember, my example before, you're on the live. Tell the people on the live what's so wrong with feeding those who are less fortunate. They won't have any fucking answer whatsoever, especially when they're on the live, especially if it's the CEO of Dunkin' Donuts. What else does he have to say? You're rich, you have everything that you need. Why not give it to officers or veterans or first responders or nurses or the needy or teachers on every Sunday? You can even host little kids, selling them out there with their parents, and then they can have nonprofit organizations. It can flourish into this big thing, and you can start it, Mr. CEO of Dunkin' Donuts. Why not?
Mm.
And then you don't let up. And you keep digging in those questions. Well, I don't know. We can't do that. We have health codes and all this other stuff. And then you have another receipt to come out. Well, how are they going against the health codes if you throw them away that night? You can put it in a refrigerated truck and disperse it out to the people. What's so hard about that?
Right, right. Yeah.
Oh, I have a question for everybody in front.
Go ahead.
I,
Yeah.
I mean, it's towards the last what you were saying. I just wanted to know, like, what you guys think would happen if, let's say, everybody was a millionaire. Like, what would you think would happen? Like, do you think money would be the same way? Do you think people would still be working just like to get something done? Like, if everybody in the world was a millionaire.
If everyone, I don't know how that would work, um, economically. I don't know if I'd just like fuck everything up or not. I don't know. I'm not really that smart about that.
I think it goes along with a theory that I had. If an alien species came down here and they told all the humans, they're like, humans, I am Fleet Flop. On my planet, you don't have to work. Anything that you need, we give you. You get free health care. You get free health access to education. The police there are like the people in Minority Report. You don't have to worry about nothing. There's no crime. Everything's taken care of. Let's say this in this way, like Kirby's saying.
Is there free
What
Wi-Fi?
everything, man, everything. So, and you get to the only rule is you can't hurt other people, and the only thing else you need to do is enjoy your life as long as you can. I'm gonna tell you what, that spaceship would be flooded. And then you go to the world leaders and you look at them in their face and you say, see how easy it was to take your people away from you? All I had to give them is peace and kindness and freedom and free stuff. Something that you could have done a long time ago. I didn't hold a gun to their head. I didn't promise them money. All I promised them is access to everything that you deny them of. Simple. The people will be gone.
I mean, if I could interject into this, I think the only missing key to this, which we see with scientific studies with mice, is you would have to find a way to give them purpose and a routine as well. Because if you just tell a human being, "Oh, hey, you can just do whatever you want," most of the time they're going to just sit down in front of a television and do nothing all day and eat food all day and not exercise and not learn anything. You have to say, okay, you have a mandatory like 30 minutes of having to work out or something, a mandatory hour of learning something that you enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Anything to get the person up and out and active in the world. Otherwise, it's one of the main things that capitalists and every other person says is the main reason it's not going to work is, oh, they're just going to sit down and do nothing. I feel like forcing them to have routine is very necessary. It doesn't have to be so draining like it is nowadays, but definitely something a little bit to nudge them.
Well, I mean, I have to push back a little bit, but because that's like a human constructed type of perspective. If the reason why people are so stressed out is because they can't sit around and do nothing, they don't have the moment where they can actually rest. We're not talking about 2 days off of your weekend or a couple weeks off for your vacation time of PTO. or how hard you have to work to the age of 70 years old to retire. We're talking about absolute peace. Of course, people have to tend the fields, take care of livestock, have the power grid going. That gives people purpose, that gives people structure, a routine. But the system that it's in, a bartering system, a system where the most educated and the most people that overcome their evil nature with great effort, they get really rewarded. Not mundane things, not a pizza party. They get an opportunity to go to college, free daycare, free access to everything. And then when people are less stressed out and they still have the structure of a government, they still have a structure of things that have law enforcement, they still have the structure of routines of taking care of not only yourself, but the people that you live around. Think about that. A whole world from a bartering system that has the same system of earth that holds people accountable that do wrongs, but everything isn't like if you need to take a break, you can take a break. Someone else will take your position. You'll still have your job when you came back. And what are you paying for? If your electric bill is already paid for, your water is already paid for, everybody has large screen TVs, if everybody has the same thing as everybody else, and then you punish those who, I mean, severely, you take them back to earth, what do you have to lose? You have to, for humans to evolve, you have to change the entire foundation of everything. And to me, it's taking the number one thing is taking away stress, which is a very impossible probability, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I think what you guys are saying is interesting. I don't know what the solution would be, but I think somehow instilling belief in others and like validating people, like seeing the good in them and like encouraging them to like live their dream. Like what do you want to like? I think so many people now, like not so many people, I don't know, but like people give up on their dreams sometimes, and I think we ought to just be dreamers, and not everyone can be the same thing, right? And maybe there's a good thing for diversity when it comes to different lines of thinking. But I think if we're going to really thrive as a human species, is to set up these places where, like, if these people are not encouraged or motivated to do anything, we give them an opportunity to talk to someone, uh, and work together, kind of like a buddy system, maybe, and like we can get somewhere with that. And I think, uh, like maybe just like talking on lives. Maybe everyone's just like talking on TikTok to each other, right? I don't know, but I think it could. I don't know. We could do something with that. I think.
Absolutely. Like imagine having the worst day of your life in this new alien world because you're a new um, illegal alien on their planet, and you are going through like the worst anxiety attack of your life. And imagine this. This is how the system works. They tell the customers, unfortunately, one of our associates is having some type of medical emergency. We're going to have to close down the store for maybe, depending upon what it is. I mean, you can't do that at a hospital. But let's say it's a gas station. They can go somewhere else. And they lock the door, they turn off the lights, you go in the conference room, and they ask the employee, what can we do for you to help you right now? Do you need to go home? Do you want to talk through this? And imagine if it was suicide ideation, if even something more serious. Do you want to talk to us? Do you just want to sit in this room and just stare at the wall? What can we do for you to make you feel better? And the guy's talking for 2 hours about his problems. He cries, you hold him, you guys order food. And imagine that's the work environment you live in, the world you live in, where you can take a 2 hour long nap and you still have your job. The change starts with inside of the mind and outside of it at the same time.
Right.
If you are forced to mask every day, to be brave, to be persistent, to be intelligent, to be sound minded, to be the foundation and the lighthouse for everybody else, but when you're crumbling, you pretend everything's okay. And that's what's wrong with the world as well. What happens when the lighthouse crumbles? None of the ships come in. What if you have an employee that is everyone's lighthouse, and the only thing that can change the narrative for the greater good is you just taking 2 hours out of your day and talking to your cashier. Imagine that developing everywhere, everywhere. A cop,
Yeah.
officer. I mean, just imagine that. I mean, different protocols for different situations.
Definitely.
Imagine caring is the most important thing, kindness and understanding. That, but enforce it with law. Imagine that world.
Enforce it with law. Yeah, well, just to get something in place, right? But it's like, how do we get all these people to even support everyone, right? There's so many people in the United States or even on Earth in the first place. But we got to start somewhere, right? And maybe this just comes back down to like starting small with a small group of us. Like there's three of us here, four of us all together, and how many people? Five altogether with all of us, right? And we're doing something right now. This is like we're building like a community, and this is an idea someone had for me to start Discord, and it'd be great to like get people on that if they wanted to like support each other, because I think what we can do is like we can support each other in these small situations and in these small like lives or spaces or whatever, and we can build, and we can build, and we can build, and I think from there we can take it wherever we want, and I think it's up to all of us to figure that out together, right?
Yeah.
So I have a question for the last. So my question was about when you was talking about like people giving away, you know what I'm saying, food and stuff to the community. My thing, even you know what I'm saying, I totally agree. But I think I forgot who it was. I don't think nah, never mind. But I I, I agree, but at the same time, if we really wanted peace, like I mean, as we know in the world with people not giving, you know what I'm saying, free stuff out, would we still have evolved the same way we are today if we had peace? Like people giving out food. Maybe not that. Maybe as in like let's say everybody had a stable income, everybody had a job, everybody had free, you know what I'm saying, free everything, you know what I'm saying? Would we still have evolved the same way as we are today?
I don't think we would. I think we would be further along, more on the lines of a type 1 civilization. So let me explain what that is. So a type 1 civilization is basically you're harnessing all the power on the planet. The end goal is to get to a type 3 civilization where you can harness the power of the sun. But we're not getting there because humans can't get along. Now imagine it in the world that I envision. You said that what will happen if everybody's fed? Well, nobody would be hungry. That means that not only you're not giving poor people old food that's been sitting on someone's shelf for 6 months, you give them good food because that's the law in this world. You treat other people the way you want to be treated, or you can get locked up in jail. So you're kind of perpetuating a standard that you have no other choice but to be good. And then you have the argument, well, how's that fair if you're enforcing good on people? How do they come to the conclusion to be good on their own? Great question. So you start out very slowly with this. You monitor people. Let's see what companies actually just doing this for A, prestige, two, for recognition, or three, the kindness of their heart. At the end goal, everybody's still getting food donated. It's the intentions behind it which I want to change. You go in for a yearly review. You asked this individual. So I have seen through your posts and the way that you talk to people, the way that you talk to your staff, that you really don't care about what you're doing. You're just doing it because it's the law. Imagine emotional police. Remember, this is all fictitious type of world. That once you see someone being harassed by someone, the emotional police come along and they tell you, hey, you're harassing Janet over there for putting extra jelly donuts in there for the homeless people. And you don't like it because you want to take it home to your family. The emotional police gives him a citation. He says, for everything you do and everything you don't do, there's a greater reaction. Here on this planet, you're held accountable at the foundation of what you humans used to call bullying. Imagine it starting at the bottom, at school, at elementary school, in churches. Gossip, you're not locked away for it, but you get a citation. People would change really quickly. I mean, what are we being punished for now? Like there's literally a story on TikTok that just it was blew my mind that a pastor beat the crap out of a guy because the guy's like, I'm going to unalive your family and grape your wife and kids when you leave. The pastor ran across the street and beat the total tar out of him. That's in my world, that's how preachers should act. If you're talking from God, you should be the one that's dealing the goods out. Like, no, you can't talk this way in this society. I'm gonna put you in your place. And who better yet than a man of God?
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if I agree with like having like emotional police. I think having less and less control in the future is better. I know that sounds like like utopian in some ways, but I think if we had like really good role models to look up to, um, like people can model that out and people can be like, oh, I see, so I shouldn't do that because I aspire to be like this guy, right? And this is why the idea of Jesus is interesting. I don't subscribe to Christianity, but the idea is really great. And um, why don't we all just try to be Jesus?
I mean,
I'm, I think mostly for everybody. Why don't we try? Because I feel like if I mean adding on to my question in the last, you know what I'm saying, what she was talking about based on what my question was, and like so if everybody try to be Jesus, you know what I'm saying, which is, you know what I'm saying, all good.
Let me reframe
Mhm.
that. Be like
But
Jesus in your own way. Like not exactly like Jesus, but in a way that you understand that as a subjective individual. And I'll let you continue. I just wanted to clarify.
mhm. I mean, if we're seeing Jesus for like none of the bad things, but the only good things he done. I mean, if everybody wanted to be like Jesus, like I mean, based on my last question, like if everybody was a millionaire, you know what I'm saying, would we still have that hunger to actually do stuff? You know what I'm saying? I think Lord said it like if people like I forgot what he said, like about going to the gym and stuff. Like, would you still have that hunger? Like, I feel like homeless people have like a purpose in society. Like, we want to fight for them to get free healthcare. Like, if everything was for free, I wouldn't think there would be no hunger. I'm not saying they shouldn't have it. I'm saying if they wasn't there wouldn't be no hunger or yearning for them to be able to get it.
Mm.
but I think it all starts within side of the person. Like I said, it's about the like the emotional state of every individual on a certain type of planet. The homeless are not homeless because it's stylish and it's a new DLC in Elden Rings. They're down there because no one gives a shit about them. They're down there because something destroyed these people a long time ago. And instead of handing these people a sandwich, we should offer them a room and offer them help, but with the idea that if you, the homeless person, are you willing to change? Sign this contract. If you sign this contract, we're going to give you a free home. We're going to pay your rent for so much. Let's say this is happening on Earth. We're going to pay your rent for 4 months. We're going to help you attend a community college. You have to pass drug screenings. You have to do A, B, and C. We won't put this in the newspaper. We won't blast this out. This is our private organization. Nobody know about it.
So this is
Then you start
go
up
ahead.
say that.
Sorry.
So and then this starts getting an idea. These people have a choice to change. We're not enforcing it. We're not breathing down their necks. But if you do want to do this, there are rules. You have to be drug free for so long. You have to show me what you're passionate about, like the host was talking about. How can we help you become the better version of yourself?
Right.
Not masking, not pretending everything's okay. We want to get to the root of the issue. People are suffering inside on this planet. They're living, every person that I've met since I've been working in customer service are living in their own personal hell. And if you're not going to be the guiding light for them to get out of there, also having a good foundation and for them to grow within this new world, you are failing society. For a person that I forgot what the quote is, you can judge someone by how they treat someone that can give them absolutely nothing. That's how you judge a good leader. What do I gain? I don't give a shit about money. I want to see people smile and genuinely smile, not fake smile. I want them to be proud of themselves for the efforts that they put forth, not because I helped them, because they knew that they could do it. When they wanted to give up, they didn't. And I'm the type of leader that allows them to do that freely without no judgment. Who
Right.
am I, if the leader of the free world, not to provide everything for them that they need to succeed?
Yeah. No, I agree. Like just supporting people in places where like they might not have that support in the first place, I think is important. Like rehabilitation with like helping prisoners out for one, just so they can be successful after being in jail. But even like in places that are in poverty, like giving them the resources so like they can be successful. Because I think people are kind of like I said, a product of their environment. So like if you are starving and don't have anything to eat, like you're more likely to probably steal than someone who has money, right? And I think giving them the resources is good. And there's food banks and there's stuff like that, right? Um, and people generally do a pretty good job about feeding. So just to get a little personal, I guess. I was homeless from November until February this year, and there was like a food bank or like the place that made food all the time during lunch, which was fantastic. And I applied for a place to live that takes in homeless people, and I'm very grateful to have that because they're doing exactly what you said. Sorry, the last broadcast. Try to get your name up again. They're doing exactly what you said. Like they're helping us out to get us on our feet again and to be successful in the future. And like these things are already in place, but there's just not enough of them, right? And it's just it's hard to uh, how do we fund this in the first place? But the place I'm at, like they get funding in a different way that I don't want to like disclose. Um, but it's already out there. But how do we make this more common? Is like the problem I think, and I don't know what the solution is for that except to just keep trying to help as much as possible. But I don't know.
You started the schools. You, in my world, you would have an open campus. That there's no such thing as grades. That a 60-year-old, I mean, remember, this is in a perfect world because I know there's pros and cons. Let's just say the school's safe and everybody gets a background check. So, say for instance, in the school, so you can go to a prestigious college like Harvard, that everybody from elementary school in this newfound America has to take emotional intelligence class. Not only that, that you have to take CPR class.
Hmm.
You have to take American Sign Language class because not everybody in this world can hear and see.
Right.
When you start at the bottom and the prerequisite to succeed, to get out of something, to have a job, you have to be skilled in CPR. Like I said, you have to be able to have American Sign Language and have the emotional intelligence class, meaning that not only do you know how to take care of others, you know why they act the way they do. Maybe a small degree before you reach high school in psychology, things would change. And then you have people, I mean, kids won't understand that type of stuff. You haven't even allowed them to try. Try if you can explain complex things to children, you know your craft. And I'm pretty sure there's people
Yes.
out in this world that are capable of doing that.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
imagine a world Now imagine a world like that. So you graduate high school, you know CPR, so you're not going to have to wait for the EMTs and the Heimlich maneuver to save someone that's 20 minutes out of the way. Come on, the person's going to die by the time they get there.
Right.
You even take self-defense class. That means that the basic knowledge is jujitsu. People, women, children, old people will know they can protect themselves in an honorable way. People that can't hear and can't see, you have American Sign Language to talk to them or whatever sign language you want to come up with. Imagine that. Imagine that's the core concept, in addition to a psychology major.
Hmm.
People would have a different narrative, and you
Right.
cannot have a job and get a high school diploma unless you have all those things accomplished.
Yeah, that's tricky because how do you get people to really want to understand that content like further on their own without being like forced to? Because I remember like being in high school, I didn't really give a shit about classes, and I kind of coasted through it, right? But I guess to counter my point, because I'm gonna counter because I think what I said there can be countered. Exposing it could be one thing, right? And like planting the seed in their minds so they can, um, maybe look into it later on. I think can be a good thing. So I settled on that. I'll settle on that statement instead of my previous one. So it's like a lot of stuff I don't think through. Like this is why it's fantastic like, talking to people on TikTok. It's like it's stuff I don't really think about on my own, and it's good just to like come to a conclusion that um, seems fit for me for what I thought. But I think I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. What am I saying? I'm gonna get off probably here soon. But if you guys want to give closing statements or say something final, I'll let you guys say whatever you need to.
I think my closing statement will probably be like, I feel like the next generation after me is gonna have it so good. Now, let me explain why. When I was in middle school, they never had us going on a trip to college because me and my friends were playing basketball. I think it was yesterday. We seen a kid with a college trip, and he said we went on a college trip. I was never able to experience a college trip in middle school. I feel like that's a big advantage, you know what I'm saying? Because that's not gonna happen until like a few years later until you leave high school. But they're in middle school, able to, you know what I'm saying,
Mm.
go on a college trip. Not only that, how the heck do they have iPhones in middle school? I used to have my track, man, my Obama phone. Like, how are they getting iPhones in middle school yet, bro? This is just
Right.
crazy. I feel like they're gonna be better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I've been hearing a lot about how well, reading on Reddit, and I don't know if it's just well, I trust it in some sense. Where the teachers are saying that the literacy and writing rates is like decreasing a lot, and people aren't really even ready to graduate in the first place. So that's concerning. So I don't know why that is. I don't remember the reasons why they stated, but I don't know. I I don't know what I'm where I'm gonna go with this. I'm just kind of tired and my brain is just mush right now. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. That's what I had to say about that. But if you guys want to tag on to that or say anything else, last broadcaster and Lord Reskin. I don't know if I pronounced that right.
Yeah, you pronounced it right.
Okay.
I guess my closing statement would be, um, you said before, what would it be like if we all got together that were like-minded like this, who wanted to kind of get rid of this bad stuff that is kind of being put on us and replace it with good things? We all have our own perspectives on it, but we all kind of see the same goal either way, and so we can kind of work together on that.
You see it. You
Um,
see it. That's great.
One
I love
hundred
that.
percent.
I love that, man.
Um, I have been working on something myself, and it has shifted my perspective on how we can go about it. And so I've been doing a couple things. One of them is I sell clothes. I have my own brand. I don't want to say what kind of brand it is. If you guys want to see a picture of it, that's fine. But I've been doing that, and then I've been getting, like you said earlier as well, getting like-minded people together. I came up with a idea, and everybody they seem to like it, and so we've been working on that, which is mimicking what we would assume is the people in charge. And so when we see that they are doing stuff like they're promoting certain idols and certain people into the limelight, and one of the ways they do that is clip farming method. But they pay people like a lot of money to do that. But if you have like-minded individuals, we don't mind doing it for free. If you're interested in something, let's say you want to create a food product, let's say you want to create a fashion thing, maybe you want to be a streamer, that's fine. But if you want to work towards the goal of bettering the world, let's work together to promote you, see if you can get ahead, et cetera, et cetera. And again, why not do it for free if that's our goal? We know that it's going to have an outcome where there's no more money anyways, where we're just doing things out of the kindness of our heart anyways. Why not just do it now, but together with each other?
Right. I love that, man. You're seeing the vision too. You're seeing the vision too. Sorry, I love
Oh
that.
yeah, appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, man. And the last broadcaster, do you have anything to say?
No, just that I'm glad we all got together and we're all like minded.
Definitely, it's great because we have different backgrounds, different understandings of things, but we can talk about it and like align and progress, and we can flourish and be humans, and like this is how how it is, and it's so fun just being a part of this with you guys. So I appreciate you just like being on here and being open about your ideas and listening, and I really do appreciate you guys and people on the chat too. So thank you so much for you guys for coming up, and I might be on tomorrow, who knows, but another sometime in a couple days at least. So. But I appreciate you guys for coming up. Have a good night.
Yes, sir. Later, guys.
All right, take care. Bye bye.
Take care.